Alright, everybody. I assume you guys remember Melanie Mack, the girl who hospitalized herself after eating a stick or two of butter to own the libs. She's pretty much famous for exclusively that and making dog shit anti-woke grift videos. Now, covered her before, and she is very stupid, but there is one realm of content creation that's happened as of late where she's actually experienced a massive spike in relevance and popularity. You see, if you go to her channel and you look at how her videos have been doing for a while, you'll see they hadn't been doing great. You'll see the Assassin's Creed Shadows video didn't do great, the Ubisoft video didn't do great, the Call of Duty video did okay, Netflix video didn't do great, Sonic video didn't do great, whatever this is didn't do great. But what did do pretty well for her channel was a video on Dragon Age the Veilguard leaks that are supposedly worse than we feared. You see, this is very commonly what these right-wing grift-tubers will do in the realm of gaming. Despite this entire realm of content creation having started due to Gamergate, and the excuse for Gamergate not being like a racist harassment campaign back then was that it was actually a movement to fight for ethics in gaming journalism, these people have zero ethics when it comes to their gaming journalism. They will report on rumors that originate from 4chan that were drummed up by people designed to get hate and attention. This has been a thing that's happened in the realm of gaming for a long time. Randoms on 4chan claiming that they're insiders for a company and making up fake leaks. It's happened for a long time, and usually you would know not to report on those rumors and leaks when there's no evidence for them, besides an anonymous guy saying, "Trust me bros, my dad works at Nintendo." But these people take it seriously, and they have based a lot of their entire videos off of just completely long ago debunked 4chan rumors. You go back and you scroll through these videos, you'll find plenty of videos about popular franchises making predictions that never came true because they're just reporting on some rumor from a dumb fuck on 4chan. Now, because she jumped on the Dragon Age Veilguard, this new Dragon Age game that's coming out soon, bandwagon, and this game does supposedly have some, according to Galaxy Bomb, some shady shit surrounding it, but has nothing to do with wokeness. There are some fans upset with the game. However, overall, it's been an enormous success. And despite that, she has doubled and tripled and quadrupled down. And in some ways, it's gotten pretty freaking funny. You can see that her Dragon Age videos are by far the best performing videos she's had on her channel in a while, so she's spamming them out now without fail because they're doing well. Now, here's the thing. She thought she spotted a sinking ship. If you don't know, I've kind of started this term called the sinking ship method, or the sinking ship strategy, where a conservative grifter like this lady will find a popular franchise that is currently going through a lot of turmoil within its fan base over some genuine criticism coming from the fans towards the producers of that art. They will see that already existing discontent, and they will capitalize on it by saying, this company has gone woke, it's these DEI hires that are responsible for this, the company has changed because of wokeness taking over, and they end up farming quite a few views off of this. The only downside for Melanie Mack is that she has to cope post hard, because this game did not end up going woke and going broke. It actually, it's doing very, very... I'm sorry, I've still got some of that, chocolate powder mix in my throat from drinking my shake. Sometimes little bubbles of it stay I guess, incorporated into the milk whenever you drink it, and sometimes it makes my throat dry. Anyway, she's having to cope post about this a lot. Now, if you know anything about the Dragon Age franchise, it's made by the same people who made, it's BioWare, same people who made the Mass Effect games, and a big part of those games as, choose-your-own-story type games where you interact with a lot of characters and build relationships, and your character's story is defined by your choices, but actually, they lean pretty heavy into character choice to be gay or bi or whatever. You can just do that. There has always been a lot of LGBT representation in the Dragon Age games, not as some big moral statement about progressivism, but more as a statement about how realistic it would be in a fantasy setting. There would be gay people, and they would be fucking. And so why would that be any different than in any other fantasy setting that's brave enough to show straight people fucking? And Dragon Age has leaned into that for a long time. And because of that, Dragon Age doesn't really have much of an anti-woke fan base. There's definitely some people, considering the videos have been able to pull some decent viewership, but she's definitely still on her way out, and this is nothing compared to when she was at her peak, when she was eating those sticks of butter on Twitter. This isn't even that effective of a grift. Notably because the discontent among fans isn't even that serious. You'll notice that she's made a couple of copium videos. Is Dragon Age the Veilguard manipulating reviews? Concurrent players plummet for Dragon Age Veilguard. When they're making videos like this, hyper-focusing on the player numbers and the reviews being positive for a game they claim was going to fail, they are desperately damage controlling for their incorrect predictions that the media would fail for going woke, because they have to simultaneously be right and wrong at once. Now, if we take a step into reality, you'll see that Dragon Age the Veilguard improves its peak player record as of 3 hours ago, mind you. Or sorry, 10 hours ago. Dragon Age the Veilguard has surpassed 89,400 concurrent Steam players over the first weekend of November 2024. It hence significantly improved upon its peak player record from launch day, although early Market Watcher estimates suggest that Dragon Age the Veilguard is still far from breaking even. And that is a true thing. We're only on the second day of the game's release, but it's doing pretty well. Fans are pretty happy with it overall, and most of the fans getting mad at the game are literal tourists. That has been the case for a lot of franchises lately. I think this is why the right is starting to lose it a little bit. Let's see about this video. Is Dragon Age the Veilguard manipulating reviews?
Dragon Age the Veilguard's
Let's see what it's all about.
Reviews are here, and according to a bunch of journalists, it's like the best Dragon Age game ever, but to all of us who have eyes and who have been seeing the gameplay footage and so on and so forth, we know that it looks lame and gay. So what is the disconnect?
Okay, fair warning before you watch this, Melanie Mack is a content creator purely watched because she is a woman saying anti-woke stuff. There is not a single, shred of evidence, argument, or point made in any of her videos. Her fans do not watch her because she is good at this. They watch her because she is a woman validating their opinions. We are in for some of the most low IQ arguments we are going to hear from any content creator. She is going to summarize entire arguments with, "it just looks gay," and move on to the next point, with that being all of it. That is genuinely the peak of intelligence of her criticisms. Her fans watch her because conservative men love having a woman validate their conservative views, because they know internally that women are not down to clown with their politics, and any woman willing to validate them, it's an easy path to success. Millions of subs if they're able to play it smart enough, right? Shuonhead was not the first, but was definitely one of the biggest people to sort of normalize and sort of revolutionize that model. Gameplay looks lame, meanwhile I'm throwing meteors down to smite my enemies. Yeah, what they're referring to insofar as the gameplay looks bad would be any nitpick they can make about it on top of their primary issue, which is the fact that all Dragon Age games have always been woke, and that a new Dragon Age game was always going to be the target of these people's ire, inevitably, because the game would have so much LGBT representation, whether it be baked into the game through characters that are already, existent, or player choice.
Are these journalists being paid or manipulated in whatever fashion to...
Yeah, man. The game that you said was gonna suck and no one would like it, it's getting amazing reviews. It must mean they're paid for. They've done this for a while as copium for Marvel. You might not remember, but there was a time where no Marvel movies did badly. When a MCU movie dropped, it was a blockbuster. Guaranteed. Always. Guaranteed. And for some reason, these chuds would time and time again try to bet everything on the downfall of a Marvel movie. From Black Panther to Captain Marvel, it was always going to go woke and go broke, and then it didn't. Black Panther ended up being, at the time, the highest-grossing Marvel movie, and they had to find ways of justifying this. A big talking point was that Black Panther ticket sales were inflated by Disney, that Disney was buying out their own tickets in order to make it look like the movie was a success, as if that would be a thing any massive corporation would do when they're trying to break even on a project. But they claimed this, and it just kept on falling flat for years until Marvel movies started to get stale post-Endgame. And it just so happened that bringing in a big new swath of heroes after Endgame, which is part of what pushed a lot of people off because they weren't interested in new heroes they weren't used to in the movies before. They just wanted to kind of check out after Endgame. Because so many of these heroes were new, they decided to lean a little more into the representation side of things. A lot of characters that were newer to the Marvel writing or had never been given the spotlight before because they weren't like straight white males ended up getting adapted into the MCU. And as that happened, the MCU, for different reasons, started to fall off in terms of box office numbers. It also helped that COVID happened and really hurt the theaters, and so every movie was doing very poorly. You'll remember that a critically and like viewer lauded movie, Furiosa, the Mad Max Furiosa movie, was massively attacked by Melanie Mack and all of the Chud anti-woke grifters, and they reveled in the movie's box office failure. But everyone agrees it's an amazing movie. The unanimous consensus, just like with the D&D movie, is that it was an amazing movie that deserved to do better than it did, and it didn't do well in the box office just because of COVID and the state of movie theaters. But they revel in the failure of that type of media. If it fails financially, well, a big reason why conservatives do so well financially, why Melanie Mack is so wealthy, and why so many conservative YouTubers are so wealthy, is there is a side implication of their arguments that financial success is an inevitable response to being morally right. And so conservatives view that their favorite right-wing figures having so much money and success, that is their reward for being correct, and that the left being so poor and financially and like in terms of platform less powerful than the right online is actually their punishment for being wrong, and that the money is going to the people who are speaking the most sense. And so there's always this implication that something failing financially is in and of itself evidence of moral wrongdoing. Another really good example of this is Sunny V2. I don't know if you guys have, like, besides the Ava Tyson stuff, looked deep into Sunny V2's entire grift, but his whole thing is, like, making videos about the downfall of YouTubers, and if a YouTuber has a downfall, regardless of for what reason, he'll manufacture some moral dilemma that caused it in order to justify, like, you see, like, he did a bad thing, and because of that, he lost out on all of his money through YouTube. And it's like this really weird and bizarre standard they set. Yeah, the sirens, the feds are coming for me. Nah, I live in a city, guys. There's ambulances go by. An old person probably died.
Push these great reviews and trick people into buying a gay game. Let's go ahead and dive into this video.
And trick people into buying a gay game. Like I said, we're dealing with some low IQ content here.
And discuss. So we have coming to us from That Park Place. A YouTuber speculates BioWare is attempting to manipulate reviews by not handing out review codes to creators critical of game during a playtest.
The Dark Place is... I've never heard of The Dark Place, to be fair, or That Dark Place. I guess it's a new anti-woke game review site. YouTuber speculates is the first two words of that headline. Any headline that starts with YouTuber speculates should immediately be thrown into the trash heap and never thought of again.
I mean, you kind of see this much already in... I mean, this is pretty par for the course in general with a bunch of games. Like, for example, with Tomb Raider, I used to get codes, products for giveaways. I got sent to events. I got a bunch of swag goodies from different...
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You were not a big figure in the gaming community before you started grifting right-wing stuff. Have you ever noticed this, too? The way that, like, a lot of right-wing, anti-woke grift figures just, like, make up some history in the gaming industry where they've been going, where they're like, yeah, I would get invited to E3 and like, oh yeah, like they play up how they're these OG gamers. I do not believe that Melanie Mack is a gamer. Maybe she's like a Tomb Raider fan, but I don't believe that she's as much of a gamer as she makes herself out to be. I just don't get the vibe. Listen, I just don't, okay? You have to understand there is a massive market for dudes that will just, like, shill money, views, and likes over to a woman who pretends to be, like, a loser, gamer, right-wing chud like them. It's, like, such an easy grift. I'm pretty sure that's what she's doing through and through. I don't think there's anything genuine about it.
Tomb Raider, I mean, especially, like, whenever the reboot games were first coming out, I got, like, swag.
She was part of GameStop's marketing team, but that is literally nothing. That is nothing. You realize that's literally nothing, right? GameStop, a dying company, hired her on to their marketing team, which is a marketing team of thousands of people for a multinational or at least international corporation or national corporation. So yeah, she was no one special ever until she started doing these videos.
Swag bags, all that kind of stuff, and early access, this, that, or the other. Well, once I started speaking out more vocally about my critiques and all of that kind of stuff and how, hey, wait a minute, this isn't making Lara Croft become the
Also, why is she calling anything else gay when she's got a woman tattooed on her arm?
Tomb Raider, this is a replacement of Lara Croft and I don't like that, then, oh, all of a sudden I didn't get codes anymore. I didn't get any swag bags or anything like that. And so a lot of these companies do is obviously that, but in addition to that, a lot of times they do foster a even...
Okay, God, like I said, guys, her videos are really just nothing. Sometimes I wonder if, like, my commentary isn't entertaining or enlightening enough to, like, succeed on... Jesus Christ. There's some kind of, like, massive car accident a few blocks away or something. Jesus. Hope people are okay. But like I said, there's very little substance to these videos. Every time I end up watching them, there's, like, literally nothing. It's just sort of mumbling and rambling. And I always wonder, like, is my commentary not good enough to, like, succeed on YouTube? But then I see that content creators with, like, hundreds of times more subs than me or whatever cannot even string together a sentence without... and make a proper argument, like a genuine argument that isn't just saying, it's just kind of gay and cringe. It just reminds me that there are people less talented than me who've achieved more success, and it helps with the inevitable imposter syndrome. So I just want to say, Melanie Mack, thank you for curing my imposter syndrome by sucking so much. I really appreciate it. I really do. Zan, at least your good background noise on the subjects I'm not very interested in. These people aren't close to that. Yeah. Wait, I'm pretty sure that tweet is showing an early game puzzle. These are Dragon Age Veilguard puzzles designed for smart players who want a challenge. I assume it's like some early, like, first puzzle of the game or something. They do this a lot. Obviously, I could give examples from other pieces of media, but, like, come on. Don't get your opinions on media from YouTubers. And when it comes to games, when it comes to movies and shows, that's a given. Like, if you get your opinions on a piece of media from a YouTuber on a movie or a show, you're like a massive loser. And no one even like everyone hides that they do that if they do, because they're so ashamed of it. But when it comes to games, because a game could be a scam. Like, a game more often than not is going to take 12 to maybe even 80 or more hours of your life to get all that you paid for from it, right? That's a lot of time. And if you don't want to be dropping $60, $70, or $80, however much AAA games are worth now, on a subpar product, then it might be smart, and it has been normalized as quite smart, to trust a YouTuber or a group of YouTubers with early reviews on a game to tell you, like, before you buy type stuff, right? You know, the before you buy channel from GameRanks. Like, IGN is fairly trustworthy, although they tend to be kind of chilly, I guess. They always try to average for a 5, right? They never really try to score anything below a 5 unless it's, like, horrible, you know? Like, IGN's not terrible, but they're also, like, very safe, you know what I mean? IGN plays it safe. And so what they oftentimes do is these people lie to their audiences about the content of the media that they're making. That's why you can't trust YouTubers. I get that you don't want to spend your money on a game that you might not end up liking, but for God's sakes, don't take someone with such a clear political, ideological bent. Don't take your takes on something from them. She's clearly not played or playing Dragon Age Veilguard. No YouTuber who isn't playing the game that they're criticizing should be taken seriously. That alone is a massive breach in fundamental journalist ethics, something that, mind you, she is complaining about in this video to cope about the fact that the reviews are so good. Mind you, she made another video where she claims that the viewer or the player count has dropped, and yet it just hit 10 hours ago its all-time peak. It gets to a certain point where these people will just false report. They will just make up stories and lie. I don't know, man. It seems that her new video, actresses audition for live-action Lara Croft and Phoebe Waller-Bridge television series. No one gives a shit. Literally no one gives a shit about it. Damn, Melanie Mack. Was it worth it? Was it worth getting hospitalized for eating a stick of butter? Listen, with full disclosure, I've not played Dragon Age Veilguard myself or any Dragon Age game. I just know a lot about it because I've got friends who play them. I don't plan to play Dragon Age the Veilguard. Maybe one day I will, but no time soon. So I don't really have like a say in this. Like, I'm not trying to defend the game. I'm more so pointing out what is so obviously a grift from someone who isn't even a fan of the series, that, like, as a fan, you should feel, like, offended that someone like her is trying to grift off of your genuine concern for the well-being of a franchise that you care about. So, that's really all I have to say about it. But hey, if you enjoyed this video, and you thought it was good, you thought it was entertaining, educational, or even enjoyable, then please consider dropping a like. Every single thumbs up boosts my content in the algorithm in real time, whether you're watching live or after the fact when this goes up as its own video. I really do appreciate every single one of you who goes out of your way to hit that thumbs up. It means so much. And especially those who also hit this, or comment as well. Comments are massively helpful, and I really, really do appreciate all of them from all of you guys who go out of your way to do so. Same goes for subscriptions and those who turn on the notifications via ringing the bell icon. Thank you to everybody who does that. Make sure you do if you haven't already, because YouTube won't tell you when I go live and upload if you don't. And follow my social medias, linked down below if you want to see more from me on other platforms, including, especially even, my fan Discord server, which is of course linked down below. It is the main hub of my community and fan base, and on top of that, at least once a week, I host game events, call-in streams, or watch parties there. And on top of that, do not forget, I also announce all my new uploads and streams, so you won't miss anything if you join. Make sure you got notifications on, and you'll be good. Finally, if you want to support me directly and you can afford it and you feel like it, please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or supporting me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buying merch in the Streamlabs link down below. But hey, regardless of how you support me, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one as another siren drives by. Something happened, dude. What the fuck?